Happy birthday, India Hicks. King Charles's goddaughter turns 57 today, 45 years after she chose to stay ashore on the day her grandfather Lord Mountbatten was assassinated on his boat. Few figures are more closely connected to the royal family than India Hicks. India, who celebrates her 57th birthday today, is the granddaughter of Lord Louis Mountbatten, Prince Philip's uncle and advisor who was assassinated by the IRA in 1979. She has established herself as a model, interior designer and businesswoman and lives in the Bahamas with her husband, David Flint Wood. India was one of the 5 bridesmaids at the 1981 wedding of Diana and Charles, who is both her godfather and second cousin. She is the daughter of interior designer David Hicks and Lady Pamela Hicks, a former lady-in-waiting to the late Queen and daughter of Lord Mountbatten. India married her long-term partner, David Flint Wood, in 2021 at the age of 54. The couple relocated to the Caribbean together in 1996, but they chose to come back to the UK for their wedding. Following 26 years together, they exchanged vows at St. Bartholomew's Church in India's home village of Brightwell Baldwin, Oxfordshire, as their 5 children looked on. India was previously christened at the church and her father is buried there. Having lived a fairly unconventional life together on a small island in the Bahamas for more than 2 decades, we decided that our wedding should, in contrast, be very conventional, India wrote in an article for Vogue. India stunned in an exquisite ivory tulle and lace dress by Amelia Wickstead, featuring a turtleneck and dramatic A-line skirt that swept the ankle. She accessorized with a pair of white satin court shoes by Christian Louboutin and carried a beautiful bouquet by Pulbrook and Gould London. The company poignantly made her mother's wedding bouquet in 1960. Her ring was a gold and diamond band from Charlotte Chesnay's, which the couple chose together in Paris a few months earlier. They had the words, Amor vincit omnia, translating to Love conquers all, engraved on the inside. India's bridesmaids were led by her daughter Domino, while her son Felix walked her down the aisle. She shared that the wedding had all the English trimmings complete with a choir and a series of uplifting hymns. If not for a fortunate twist of fate, India might have died at the age of 11. On August 27, 1979, she chose to stay at her grandfather's home in County Sligo, Ireland, and watch a Laurel and Hardy film rather than join him and other family members for a fishing trip. Shortly after the party set off, a concealed IRA bomb detonated, killing Lord Mountbatten, his grandson Nicholas, teenage crew member Paul Maxwell and Doreen Knatchbull, the mother of Mountbatten's son-in-law. Speaking in 2019, India said of the disaster, "The damage that was done was so much deeper than any of us could ever have imagined. And adult lives are still being horrifically disrupted." 2 years after the tragedy, India was asked by Charles if she would be a bridesmaid at his and Diana's wedding. "I had to practice," she later recalled. "It was during these rehearsals I got to know Diana, whom I first met at a dress fitting. She always seemed more like a head girl than a princess-in-waiting, with never a shy moment in private." India has preserved her bridesmaid's wreath from the ceremony at St. Paul's, keeping it in its original box. In 2022, she shared a photo of her dress, still in pristine condition, on social media. It was displayed alongside another royal bridesmaid dress, worn by her mother, Lady Pamela, now 95, who had served as a bridesmaid to the late Queen Elizabeth. At the age of 18, India moved to Boston, Massachusetts, to study photography. After graduating in 1990, her father introduced her to the Emilio Pucci brand in Florence, Italy, where she began her modeling career by showcasing swimsuits. She later modeled for prominent brands, such as Ralph Lauren, Tod's and J. Crew. Despite her royal connections, India has worked hard to forge her own path. She became a designer and businesswoman, launching a luxury lifestyle brand, before closing the business in 2022 to spend more time with her children, Wesley, 27, Felix, 25, Amory, 23, Conrad, 19, and Domino, 14. India adopted Wesley after his mother died of cancer. On the eve of King Charles's coronation, India said her godfather was considerate and patient, but she did not receive an invitation to the crowning ceremony. She posted photos on her Instagram account showing herself outside Buckingham Palace, and she also appeared on Australian TV to discuss all things royal ahead of the King's big moment. She serves her godfather's charity, the Prince's Trust, as a patron for women supporting women. After attending the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II, India revealed that she would be undertaking a bicycle ride from Buckingham Palace to Windsor Castle in a bid to raise money for the charity. India's work for the Prince's Trust exists alongside her support for Global Empowerment Mission, a non-profit that assists in the wake of international disasters. In May 2022, she visited Ukraine alongside her son in support of the organization, transporting clothing and spending time in a therapy shelter helping Ukrainian children.